103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. I am Ron Whitmore. Just a reminder, we record this live from Artisan, the art supply store on Cerrillos Road. And you're always welcome to come down on a Thursday at 11 o'clock and see this live. And boy, if you're not down here today, we do have people down here today, but if you are not down here today, you are missing a show, because I have my wife, who I've been doing this show for 3 years, and she's never been a guest. And she's going to be our visual artist, and she teaches here at Artisan, and she shows at the Brad Smith Gallery, and she's a wonderful animal painter. I'm not just saying that because she's my wife. And we have my favorite new country band, and you are in for a treat, because they brought most of the band except for the guitar and keyboards, but they are set up here, and this is the Lucky Mays Band. And we have Brian Davis on guitar and vocal, John Eichley on pedal steel, Wesley Patton Jr. on bass, and he does vocals sometimes, and you are in for a treat. They have just come out with their debut album, Lucky Mays, and I can't get the album out of my CD player in the car, so they're going to start out. What you got going on there, Lucky?
I think we'll start off with the song for one of our, actually a couple of our guests today. I'd like to dedicate the song to Christina and Florence. The song is called Country Beauty Queen.
Oh, I love this.
Feels something like this. My girl's a natural beauty, strong, sweet, and pure. She don't need no beauty pageant to make her feel secure. When she's dancing to the music, you know I have to stop and stare at that t-shirt and blue jeans. Before my eyes, she's a living dream. She's an angel standing right in front of me. Oh, she's never been much for dressing up, and she looks so fine in the fancy things. She'll always be my country beauty queen, in a t-shirt and blue jeans. When I saw her for the first time, I had to know her name, so I moved across the dance floor. No time for playing games. Now every time I hear that music, I see her dancing to our song in that t-shirt and blue jeans. Before my eyes, she's a living dream. She's an angel standing right in front of me. No, she's never been much for dressing up, and she looks so fine in the fancy things. She'll always be my country beauty queen, in a t-shirt and blue jeans. Well, I used to think that beauty was dressing up and playing the part, till I saw inside her soul, and it hit me in the heart. Take it, though she's never been much for dressing up, and she looks so fine in the fancy things, she'll always be my country beauty queen, in a t-shirt and blue jeans. Before my eyes, she's a living dream. She's an angel standing right in front of me. Though she's never been much for dressing up, and she looks so fine in the fancy things, she'll always be my country beauty queen, in a t-shirt and blue jeans.
Woo! Yeah!
That's the Lucky Mays Band.
Awesome.
And we're going to be talking with the band just a little bit later in the show, and we are going to get 4 songs out of them, which is going to be a treat because they have an album they called The Lucky Maze, and luckymaze.com, and Maze is M-A-Y-S, is where people go to get the album.
That's right.
Everybody, you need to go get this album. And listen, if you are in your car right now and you're listening on Saturday, it's right now about 12:05, 12:06, and you still have time to come take my wife's chicken painting class at Artisan, because it starts from 1 to 4, and she still has a couple spots left, and this is $99. You learn to paint a chicken, and you just come down, and you could come home at 5 o'clock and surprise your wife for Valentine's Day and say, "Look, honey, I painted a chicken." So, come on down to Artisan. You better call 954-4179 to make sure there's still room in the class, but you ought to come down. So anyway, we're going to get more song from the Lucky Maze Band and talk with them a little bit later. But we're going to switch gears and talk with my wife, Karen. So, welcome, Karen.
Hi.
Okay. And she has been an animal painter, and we have been married for 22 years, and she was my kid's first grade teacher, and she had 2 kids. We blended families. And I think one of the greatest things that we both found out early is our love for animals. Can you name some of the animals we've had?
Oh, we've had everything under the sun, I think. Emus, donkeys, hamsters, chinchillas, rabbits, everything. Snakes, spiders, frogs, everything. We've had just about everything.
And I think Karen's love for animals is what comes out in her paintings. But people... if you're looking at Facebook Live right now, you can see one of the chicken paintings. Go to Artisan's Facebook page, and we have a cow painting sitting out here. But I think it's the process of her love for the subject matter that she's doing. And why don't you talk a little bit about who have been the influences in your painting career?
Well, I've taken a lot of classes in town. Fortunately, Santa Fe is full of incredible artists. Lee Rommel, Charles Reed, just so many. And it's super, super easy. I think people get afraid that they can't do something. And the way I teach, it's just super, super easy.
Well, how do you teach?
Well,
go through your process a little bit. What do you do?
I sketch in with oil paint. And for some reason, I can draw with paint, but I really can't draw with a pencil. So my drawings are always better in paint. And really, if you break down a painting, all it is one color sitting next to another color. And if you can figure out what those 2 colors are, you can paint. So anybody can paint. I got my father painting about at the age of 75, and he is quite good. I mean, he just took off and got into it, and he's flying with it.
And one of your biggest influences was Linda St. Clair. What did you learn from Linda? Because Linda's been on the show. She's passed on now, but she was known as one of the premier animal painters in Santa Fe for many, many years, and just a very, very cool lady.
Well, the key is from Linda is to capture the emotion of the animals and the spirit of the animal. And so what you're really getting in a painting, I don't want a duplicate image or like a photograph of what I'm painting. I want the essence of the animal, the spirit, and that relationship with the artist to come through on their painting.
Is there any part of the animal that is key to catch?
Only the eye, and that's super, super easy to do. I have easy tricks. Yep, you have to catch it in the eyes. If the eyes don't have it, it's basically going to be just another abstract painting.
So your 3-hour class that you teach, 1 to 4, is they actually leave what they finished oil painting. How do you move them through the process so quickly?
Encouragement. Because it's fear that's holding you back. The trick is to get all the paint on before you start overworking it. So once you have paint in one area, you have to leave it alone until you get paint in other areas, and it's when all those colors come together and touch, that's when the magic happens.
Okay, so you still have time to come paint a chicken, so check with Artisan, 954-4179 if we have any spots left in our class. This is this Saturday if you're listening on the radio. It's from 1 to 4, and you leave with a 16 by 20 oil painting of a chicken to surprise your wife or husband, and they probably thought you could never paint a chicken. We're with the Lucky Maze Band. We're going to be right back. You're listening to ARTFusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM. Hang on, we'll be right back with music. Okay, that's how quick the first section goes.
That was lightning fast.
Lightning fast.
Lightning fast.
So the second section, you're going to start out with another song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Drop it down. Unless you guys are feeling something.
Places. Yeah, the only time he's played it with me is we had that Woodstock thing at Missouri. She played on Teacher Show. People just were getting out with that. It's a very nice band stuff around here.
Yeah. I've heard of play buzz.
It's really good.
Yeah, I know. This is probably a good place with you.
Well, because he's bringing a huge keyboard. This is too much stuff.
And we are back. You're listening to ARTFusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. Boy, you're lucky you're tuned in today because we have the Lucky Maze Band. So if you're feeling lucky, you're really lucky. And you're double lucky because my wife, Karen Whitmore, is the visual artist, and we're going to be back talking with her. She has a 4-week class coming in, and we're going to explore that. But we have Lucky Maze and his great band, which is Brian Davis on guitar and vocals, John Eichley on pedal steel, Wesley Patton Jr. on bass and vocals, and they got another song for you.
Come on, come on, every minute I'm with you goes too fast. Time to take it slow, I want this night to last. Whoa, so drop it down in the low gear, take it slow here. Wrap your arms around me, I'm so glad you found me. Take it slow here, take it slow here. Drop it down in the low gear, take it slow here. Wrap your arms around me, I'm so glad you found me. Take it slow here. Take it slow here. Well, you're my Cinderella midnight, right on time. It's all moving so fast, you look so fine. Take it down, slow it down, ease into the groove now. So let's dance with the stars and the moon in the sky. Holding your hand, move side to side. Take it down, slow it down, ease into the groove now. Whoa, so drop it down in the low gear. Slow here, wrap your arms around me. I'm so glad you found me. Take it slow here, take it slow here. Drop it down in the low gear. Take it slow here, wrap your arms around me. I'm so glad you found me. Take it slow here, take it slow here. Well, my mind says go, but my heart says take it slow. I don't wanna rush you, honey, but I just can't let you go. Take it right. Drop it down in the low gear. Take it slow here. Wrap your arms around me. I'm so glad you found me. Take it slow here. Take it slow here. Drop it down in the low gear. Take it slow here. Wrap your arms around me. I'm so glad you found me. Take it slow here. Take it slow here. Take it down. Take it down.
That is the Lucky Maze Band, and they have an album, a debut album that they came out with called Lucky Maze, and I have the album, and I've only listened to it about 190 times, and it is a great album. If you'd like to get the album and go see the website, there are a local band out of Albuquerque. Go to luckymaze.com, and Maze, Lucky is spelled just regular, Maze is MAYS.com. And we're going to be talking with the band a little bit later in the show. You guys sound great, man.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And we have Karen Whitmore, who just happens to be my wife, sitting next to me. And we were exploring, for one thing, if you're listening right now, you're got about 10 minutes before the class starts on Saturday if you want to learn how to paint a chicken. Oh no, you got about a half hour. So you come down to Artisan and check out Artisan if you want to learn to paint a chicken and surprise your Valentine, which is coming up on February 14th, guys. So if you want to surprise your wife that you actually painted a chicken for her, she'd probably never expect that. She probably expected some jewelry or like a coat or something, and you could give her a chicken. So, here we go. So, and Karen's going to be teaching another class that's coming a little bit later on January 27th. And why don't you explain what this whole 4 series of Mondays is about?
Well, I'll talk about that in a sec, but I got to get my heart to stop. You know I love you, babe, right?
Yes.
But this guy, Lucky Maze, blows my mind. I mean, there's got to be at least 5 #1 hits on his CD, and I am completely starstruck. So I'm sitting here, my heart's pounding.
She's not, and I'll give. She's not just saying that because Lucky Maze and his band is here, because every time we get in the car, it's like, get the Lucky Maze CD.
And that is true.
Yeah. And
that is true.
Thank you.
And one of the cool things about the CD, for me, because I grew up on Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, Don Williams, that type of music, you know, there's new country in it, but it doesn't leave the roots of the old country, too, which is kind of nice, you know, because some of the new country that's coming out of Nashville, man, it sounds like just rock and roll, you know, and rap and stuff, and nothing wrong with that, but it's nice to have some of the old sound come back with contemporary, you know, tweaks in there too. So anyway, we're going to be talking with Lucky a little bit later. Karen, why don't you, okay, now that you have left me for Lucky Maze,
anyhow,
okay, talk about your class.
I'm going to have a 4-week class coming up. It's going to be 4 Mondays, and it's a 3-hour session each time. And we're going to be doing, I forget the order right now, but like a chicken, cow, horse. And then the 4th one can be whatever you want to paint. It can be your own dog, it could be your own cat, whatever you want to do.
Your own snake?
Your own snake, anything you want, anything you want.
Okay, and that's going to be starting January 27th. It's $140, and that's for all 4 Mondays from 1 to 4 o'clock that she's going to be teaching that. So let's get back to your painting. So you had Linda St. Clair was a big influence. Phil Beck, you want to talk about Phil Beck a little bit?
Oh, I love Phil Beck. He does a lot of cattle, and what's special about Phil is the way he uses the light. The light is key. Having light and shadow in any image, I think, is crucial. It's more dazzling, vibrant. It's not just a picture of a cow or a chicken. There's dynamics involved.
Yeah.
And so it makes it much more interesting.
We were walking through La Fonda Hotel and happened to look in one of the windows there, and Phil Beck had one of his cows there, and it just kind of blew us away. And then Karen was studying, I think, with Linda St. Clair at the time, and we ended up driving to Scottsdale and taking a week. I just screwed around. I didn't actually take the workshop, but she actually took the workshop from Phil Beck, and that was a really cool thing. What are your favorite animals? Is there any favorite animal?
Probably dogs up most. We have 3 Chihuahuas and a German Shepherd at home, and so they're quite special, but I love anything. I'll bring anything home, possum, raccoon, whatever, I'll bring it home.
I know you'll bring it home, and we've had every animal. We've had up to 40. We were breeding donkeys. We had emus. We had goats, chickens, turkeys, rabbits, everything. Yeah.
Everything.
But what about painting? What about cows? Yeah. You've always seemed to be, like, people love, you show Brad Smith and Brad loves your cows. He likes the cow paintings.
I think it's the cow eyes. Cows are actually very loving animals. I mean, if you've seen it on Facebook, kids hugging cows, and they're actually quite affectionate animals. And so, I mean, there's just something endearing to them.
Endearing about a cow?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one animal we haven't had is a cow.
Oh yeah, our kids still want us to get one. They're almost all in their 30s, and they still want us to get a cow.
What do you think is the biggest thing that keeps people from learning to paint or fear of painting? What? Not
knowing how to start. I'm a visual learner, and I have to see it to get it. And so that's my goal for these classes is to show you the simple tricks in doing an eye or getting the paint on quickly or all these little things. I think if you see someone do it and have someone walk you through it, you can get it instantly and you're ready to roll.
And you like oil paint. Why oil?
I like the drying time, and it doesn't dry by evaporation, it dries by oxidation. So it's different than acrylic. Acrylic dries by evaporation, and you have to be very, very quick, and I'm just not fond of the texture. I like the texture of the oil paint. I can work it pretty quickly, and everything I do is done within 2 days.
We're talking with Karen Whitmore. We have the Lucky Maze Band. They're going to get another song, and then we're going to be talking with Lucky and some of the band members. You're listening to ARTFusion, the Art and Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 103.7 FM. Hang on, we'll be right back with some music.
I am. My heart's pounding.
Everybody that has your CD,
What was that?
all of us know all the words to the
I'm gonna bring a
songs now.
chicken. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's
I'm gonna
good.
bring a chicken. Hey, maybe you should bring that up. I'll bring a chicken on Saturday. The lucky chicken.
Actually, the lucky chicken was yesterday because I went to be tight on that. I went to chicken and then the snake eats. I'll put it in the snake cage. Nobody needs a chicken. So that's the lucky chicken.
I'll have to meet that chicken.
That's awesome. So on this section, why don't we start out with a song, and then I'll just talk to you.
Okay.
And then we'll probably talk to you in 4 sections and then take it out with another song.
I'm looking for the timer on the iPad over there, but
Once I click.
And we are back. You're listening to ARTFusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. Just a reminder, for those of you that are waiting for us to post the expo, we do a huge art event at the Buffalo Thunder Resort the end of September, and it's going to go live, expoartisan.com. We have 100 workshops. We have 86 vendors that come out and sell discounted art materials. It's turned into the largest instructional material event in the world, and that's going to be the end of September, the 25th. But the website's going to go live sometime in February, expoartisan.com, so check it out. But we got the Lucky Maze Band, and they have one of my favorite songs that they're going to rock out here. So
the song is called The Little Things, and it's for Ron and Karen. Here's a song for you. 3 a.m., the sweetest smile the world would ever see. Tiny hands, a button nose, kissing on those baby feet. She had her mama's eyes and her daddy's hair, laugh to bring you to your knees. It's a world of great big skies, He remembers little things. She was 5 years old when her daddy died, so she couldn't remember his face. When he went away, he said he'd be home soon, and she longed for his embrace. The way he held her in his arms when the world went wrong, it made her feel so small. In a world of great big skies, broken dreams and better lives, she remembers little things. And sometimes in the day-to-day you think they pass you by. You look up, deep inside remember the little things. When the stars won't shine and the morning seems so far away, you look up and deep inside, just remember the little things.
That is the Lucky Mays Band, and they are based out of Albuquerque, at least right now. And we have the whole, just for you people realize this isn't, we're not playing, we could easily play their CD, which is done in a studio and that's dubbed over and stuff, but this is live from the front of Artisan. These are 4 guys playing their hearts out, playing their instruments, nothing re-recorded, nothing dubbed over. This is as good as and as real as it gets. So thank you guys. You guys sound fantastic.
Thank you. We're happy to be here. Thanks for having us on the show.
Yeah, let's explore. So Lucky Mays. Lucky, one thing that I know has a debut album out called Lucky Mays, and that is available, and you can see what it's all about at luckymays.com, which is luckymays.com. But why don't you give me your background, Lucky, because I really don't know all that much about you.
Sure. Yeah, I was born and raised here in New Mexico, just over the hill in Sandia Park, actually.
Okay.
And then just kind of got started in music early on when I was a little kid. And
playing guitar?
No, actually piano. And oddly enough, the very first song I wrote was about a chicken. I'm not kidding.
That's amazing.
I believe that because it seems like at ARTFusion there's always a connection that just magically happens. So you wrote a song about a chicken?
I wrote a song about a chicken. I was probably 3 or 4 years old, just old enough to sit up on my own on a piano bench. And we lived a little bit rural there in Sandia Park, and we had chickens and ducks and horses and cattle, and we had a baby chick that didn't make it through the winter, and so I just felt compelled to write a song, about the baby chick.
Wow, that's cool.
My mom stuck me on the piano bench and plunked away. It's a great song.
Is that song coming out on your next album?
I hope so. I mean, it's close. It's between that one and another love song. So.
Well, I've been over. I was down in Albuquerque, and I went over and visited with Lucky at his house, which is also, he's got his studio. Is that where you recorded most of the album, or something?
That is. Yep, that is where the record was recorded. I have a few buddies on a couple of different coasts. A couple friends of mine in Nashville, and another buddy of mine in Los Angeles that played some parts on the record as well. So
okay,
yeah.
And how many songs have you written?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Approximately, I'll hold you to it. But
yeah, I mean, good
this...
ones, not many.
Not
but,
sure.
But you have to write a lot. You have to write a lot to get through to the good ones. And I think, you know, those that I'm proud of, there's probably about 50 that I think could make it onto subsequent.
So you got
records.
50 solid songs to keep going.
I think, yeah. I mean, there's hundreds of ideas.
Okay.
You know, as any of these musicians will tell you, you know, you just work through, and it's kind of like the art process. You know, with art, you find the colors and that go together, and with music and songwriting, you find the words that go together, and when you find the right ones, like you said, Karen, something magical happens, and hopefully that's what we're doing here. I mean, we're trying real hard.
Well, you came out with your debut album, Lucky Maze, and you got a great band. You guys sound fantastic. What are you guys going to do? What's your goal, or what's your vision, or?
Sure. Well, we're missing our drummer today. Dustin Hogue is our drummer. And we also have another gentleman who just joined the band. His name is Travis Dara. Fantastic young guitar player, also from Albuquerque. And with John and Wes and Brian and myself, we're going to be doing some live shows coming up in February. And we're looking to do festivals. So if you know anybody that's looking for original country music to play a festival, we're looking to do that sort of stuff.
Well, you know, a friend of mine, Daniel Chavez, is working on a 3,200 seat place in Albuquerque, the old Sports Authority building. He's opening real soon and bringing in some pretty major acts and stuff. So maybe you guys could be one of them, or open up for Willie Nelson or something.
We would be honored.
Okay, Daniel Chavez, if you're listening, you should be checking these guys out.
Get my number.
And do you guys practice, or you go play the gigs, or how does the band thing work?
Yeah, so I've been very fortunate. Obviously, as you can hear today, these musicians are definitely some of the finest, not only in Albuquerque but in the region and in the States. And so we've gotten together a few times and rehearsed through some of the songs on the record. There's actually some new material that we're going to be performing coming up pretty soon.
Nice.
And so, it's just these guys they're friends first, and they're musicians and players in the band second. And I'm just humbled and honored to have them here with me.
Any thoughts about another album? Are you going to be pursuing one down the road, or what's going on?
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of new material, and I'm constantly writing. And so there's a few songs that are demoed right now, and I think the approach with this record, my hope is that these guys will do me the honor of playing on that record. This first album was kind of under a time crunch.
Yeah.
And so did that one very quickly, and I played most of the instruments myself, and then had a few friends fill in where I couldn't. So.
Well, I am saying this in all sincerity. I was blown away by your album. I listened to it, and I've listened to a lot of country and had a lot of people on the show and stuff, and very talented people, great music. I love country, and this is great country. And it's one of these albums that you can continue to listen, and you never get tired of it. But they're waving me that we need to take a commercial break. You're listening to ARTFusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon. Talk 1260 MKTRC. We're going to be back with the Lucky Maze Band. I'm going to be talking with some of the other band members, so hang on, we'll be right back.
Today and yesterday, selling our house, we have shows, 5 showings today.
The song is about 4.5. Carolina. John is a handsome John. That's right.
Handsome John.
Wes, I need to do a video right now. John Brian is the inimitable.
The inevitable.
Inimitable. Inimitable.
Inimitable.
Inimitable.
I'm not going to remember that, so I have a hard time with vowels. Terrible time.
Can't imitate.
Inimitable.
Inimitable.
You know, Wesley's so cool. I can see Wesley wind or something. You're just like the wind. You just flow, you know. You just.
I like it. I see that. Yeah. That's how he plays too. When he just comes in.
Oh, I was watching you.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Bass players are so cool, aren't they?
I know.
They just. Okay. And we are back. You're listening to ARTFusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. We have Karen Whitmore, my wife, who is an animal painter, who is teaching a class probably right now in chicken painting at Artisan. And Karen, we were talking on break, and she really doesn't want to talk anymore about her artwork or whatever, but if you'd like to see her artwork, you can go to the Brad Smith Gallery on Canyon Road, where she is represented here in town. And she is a person who loves animals, and I can tell you, after 22 years of marriage, we've had every type of animal, and she cares from everything from a grasshopper to a donkey. And but she was reminding me on break one of the things that she was admiring Lucky Mays about. What was that, Karen?
Well, not only is he a prolific songwriter, he plays just about every instrument there is, and so the list of what he doesn't play is probably way shorter than the list he does play.
We were looking at his album, and you know, when he put it out himself, I mean, you were playing guitar, you're playing bass, you're playing keyboards, you're doing your vocals, and even your backup vocals. You had some other players on there, but a lot of it was done yourself. And I think as a musician, musicians admire musicians that really play, you know, and can play this stuff. So how did you learn all those instruments?
Well, I think I'm an amateur musician. You know, I play a lot of different instruments, and the reason I approach a lot of different instruments is where I grew up was rural, so I didn't have an opportunity to play with a lot of musicians. And I had, just a little recorder, and I just picked up what was around the house. So there was a guitar, there was a piano, there were drums.
You grew up rural with a farm too, with animals and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's Sandia Park. So if those of you that are familiar with this area, Sandia Park is about 20 minutes from Albuquerque, which is metro. But it was, it was rural enough that, all the musicians I wanted to play with were like, "You want to drive to Sandia Park?" I don't think so.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't old enough to drive myself. I mean, I started writing songs very, very young, and so I was just fortunate to have a few instruments around to play.
I just want to remind people, if you want to get that album, which is great, go to luckymays.com, and he has the album for sale there. Is it available anyplace else, or is it just something?
Yeah, it's all over iTunes, and you can hear it on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, all the major places you can get digital. It's there, and if you want a personal copy, just come out to the show, because I really enjoy meeting people. So come on down and get a copy.
And your shows, they can find online where you're going to be.
Calendars online at luckymays.com. We're playing next in February in Albuquerque, so come on out and see us. Actually, we're playing this Saturday. Ryan and I are doing a little show at a coffee shop in Albuquerque, so we'll kind of break down the
What coffee shop?
It's called Rig Coffee and Racing. It's a brand new shop that opened up off of Alameda and Louisiana.
Nice. Well, if you want to hear them live, go to that coffee shop on Saturday. I have Brian Davis in front of me, and Brian, what is your background, man? Oh, you have a mic. I don't even have to walk over there.
Yeah.
So, great lead guitar, and where did you come from?
Thank you. So I'm born and raised in Albuquerque, so from the area. I moved briefly to Dallas for a short period of time with a funk rock band I was playing in back in the early 90s.
Rock?
Funk rock.
Nice, yeah.
I've been playing guitar since I was about 6. My parents got me started early. Been playing on and off ever since. Played with some rock bands in high school, and Lucky and I think hooked up in high school. Our paths go back a long time ago. We've had experiences together with soccer and with music, and
How
so
cool is
we've
that?
known each other for quite a while.
Well, I can tell you all are great friends, which makes it for a band. Because my lead guitar player John Morris is right over there. We played in the same band for 20 years. It's more like now a men's club. It's after a while. And I have Wesley Patton Jr. on bass, and he is Mr. Smooth over here. And we're just giving him a nickname, Wesley the Wind. So what's your background, Wesley the Wind?
How you doing, my friend?
Doing good. I'm enjoying myself.
We're glad to be here. Born and raised in Los Angeles, actually, and grew up around professional musicians. I had an uncle who played with the bass band for a while, and moved here by way of Dallas. Go Cowboys, hopefully next year. And I'm just blessed to be constantly surrounded with people who challenge me to be a better musician, better player.
Nice. Well, you play the bass very, very smooth and very cool. And you have one more player. You don't have your drummer and somebody else, but we have pedal steel just adds so much. We have John Igley here. John, what is your background?
Well, I grew up in Pittsburgh.
What?
Yeah, I bounced all over the place. Chicago, New York. And I'm recently to New Mexico, so I'm here with my wife, and we love it so far.
Living in Albuquerque?
Yeah, just in Albuquerque, and still getting used to the change of pace, but it's a very welcome change of pace. We love it here.
Well, very cool. Well, you guys definitely sound great. You got something going on. I wish you the best of success in whatever avenues you take it, whether you take it touring or whether you take it for opening up for people or you take it as recording your CD. Sounds fantastic, so just keep the good stuff in front of you.
Thank you.
We got time for one more song, so what do you got going on?
So this is a song that was really the catalyst for this record, and there's actually a music video for it online, so if you go to YouTube and just search Lucky Maze Carolina, you will see a video for this song. It's pretty cool. So the song is called Carolina. I can feel your crying eyes staring through the walls again. If only I could realize that I cause you so much pain. Honey, try to understand. I tried to be a better man, but all I have are hopes and dreams, and they're fraying at the seams. I've been painting pictures in my mind. Carolina, hold me close. Don't you go so far away. I just want to hold you in my arms. Carolina, Thank you for having us.
Man, you guys sound so great. So if you want to get the CD, the easiest way is luckymays.com. Thank you, baby, for being on the show.
Loved it.
Another 3 years, I'll get you back. If you're good. Okay, and you are listening to Art Fusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC. We will see you next week.